Education Service, with support from the United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF, is set to roll out a training program for basic school teachers on the dangers of the deadly Ebola virus. The training will target teachers from both public and private basic schools across the country. This is to enable basic school children understand the disease to avoid an easy spread of the virus in case it is detected in the country. Justice Kwesi Forson has more.
The Education Ministry earlier this week announced the postponement of the reopening of the 2014-2015 academic year for the country's tertiary institutions by another 2 weeks. Although the announcement does not affect basic schools, education authorities are taking a first step to ensure the pupils are out of harm's way in case of an outbreak. Public Affairs Director at the Education Ministry, Paul Krampa, explains the format of the training for the teachers.
Of the pre-tertiary institutions, that is the secondary schools, primary and junior high schools. What the GS is doing is that, GS is responsible for pre-tertiary education. What the GS is doing is that they are actually working closely with UNICEF to develop manuals, posters, leaflets based on treatment and then prevention of Ebola in our schools. So what they are also trying to do is to actually give some sort of orientation to teachers all over the country. We have over 14,000 primary schools, and then over 9,000 junior high schools, as well as over 500 public. So they are trying to work this thing. And in fact, this thing, it's not only the public sector, the private sector is also there. We have a lot of private schools in this country. So training programs are going to be organized for teachers in both public and private schools. In the case of the education institutions, it will actually be extended to all parts of the country.
Paul Krampa, however, says a meeting by the Interministerial Committee on Ebola next Monday will discuss if the universities should reopen after 2 weeks.
2 weeks for the meantime, 2 weeks. And then, in order to actually communicate the issue to the institutions, there's going to be a meeting on Monday at the office of the President. So actually there'll be, there'll be an update of what is being done, and then also the Interministerial Committee will also brief the heads of institutions. There could be even extension. It all depends on the measures that have been put in place to curb the Ebola in Ghana.
The Education Ministry estimates that more than 10% of the country's student population is made up of foreigners, and with the Ebola outbreak still rife in the sub-region, education authorities say they are leaving nothing to chance in ensuring that the education sector does not become the conduit for the country's first reported case of Ebola. Justice Kwesi Forson's report for JoyNews.